What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 4, Thursday Night Football.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you my top picks for the Thursday Night Football Showdown between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Oh, and good news, guys. Make sure to stay tuned to the very end of this video because we removed the box that was popping up and blocking the lineup. So now you can see a full lineup using these picks that we made in this video if you stay to the very end. Okay, guys, NFL Week 4. Let's take a look at this Thursday Night Football Showdown between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals. So at the quarterback position, I like Joe Burrow from the Cincinnati Bengals playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have the 6th worst defense overall, and they give up the 10th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Joe Burrow has averaged 16.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 2 rush attempts per game. Now he's going to be about 61% owned, projected at 18.7 fantasy points here tonight. He's 11,600 DraftKings salary, and Vegas thinks there's going to be 46 points scored in this game, with the Bengals favored by 7.5. So Joe Burrow is only 200 more than Trevor Lawrence. He has a much better matchup, and I expect the Cincinnati Bengals to outscore the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I like Joe Burrow here versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. I like both the stud running backs on this slate. I'm not going to go too much further than that. So let's start with Joe Mixon from the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Mixon has averaged 15.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 22.3 rush attempts per game and 2.3 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 79% of the snaps. He's going to be about 66% owned, projected at 17.6 fantasy points here tonight. He's 11,000 DraftKings salary, and he's got a great matchup. The Jacksonville Jaguars are giving up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing running backs, and we know Vegas thinks that the Bengals are going to be ahead in this game by 7.5 points, so it could turn into a running game script if the Bengals get out to a big lead.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
So I like Joe Mixon here versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, although I prefer Joe Mixon, take a look at James Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's averaged 14.4 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 10.3 rush attempts per game and 5 pass targets per game. He's been on the field for 65% of the snaps, and he's going to be about 40% owned, projected at 14.2 fantasy points here tonight. He's 9,400 DraftKings salary. You're saving about $1,600 if you go down to James Robinson over Joe Mixon. I think you just got to play Joe Mixon, but if you're playing multiple lineups and you want to change it up, James Robinson had a good week last week, scoring 25 fantasy points off of 15 rush attempts and 6 pass targets. So he is involved in the passing game. So even if the Jaguars fall behind, James Robinson can still get some passing yards and get in the end zone for a touchdown. So I like James Robinson here versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. So Jamar Chase, he's way up at 10,200 DraftKings salary. Now he's averaging 19.9 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 5.3 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 48% owned, on the field for 89% of the snaps. He's projected at 16.4 fantasy points here tonight. He's 10,200 DraftKings salary, so that is quite expensive for a guy that's only averaging 5.3 pass targets per game. Now, he's been super productive, and it's a pretty decent matchup here, but there is a chance that the Bengals get out to a big lead over the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Jamar Chase doesn't get that many pass targets. So I think I prefer to pay down at this position. So let's take a look at the other wide receivers that are a little cheaper here. The guys that I like Marvin Jones Jr. from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's averaging 16.1 fantasy points per game on the season, and he's getting an average of 9.3 pass targets per game. Almost double the average pass targets as Jamar Chase, and he's going to be about 40% owned, and he's been on the field for 92% of the snaps, projected at 14.9 fantasy points here tonight. He's 8,600 DraftKings salary, so you're saving quite a bit of salary coming down from Jamar Chase to Marvin Jones. You're getting more pass targets and a guy that's been productive every single week in a game that could turn into a passing game script if the Jaguars fall behind. So I like Marvin Jones Jr. here versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. Our NBA tools are awesome. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Now, if you want to play a Bengals wide receiver and save even more salary, take a look at Tyler Boyd from the Cincinnati Bengals. And Tyler Boyd has averaged 11.4 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 6.3 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 56% owned, on the field for 80% of the snaps. He's projected at 14.5 fantasy points here tonight, and he's 7,400 DraftKings salary. And he's also got a fantastic wide receiver cornerback matchup. So I like Tyler Boyd here versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, if you want to play another Jacksonville Jaguar wide receiver, if you can't fit in Marvin Jones, you need to save some salary, take a look at DJ Chark from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's averaging 11.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 7.3 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 84% of the snaps, going to be about 19% owned, projected at 12 fantasy points here tonight. So he's another good option for the Jacksonville Jaguars wide receivers. If you think this game is going to turn into a passing game script, Marvin Jones Jr. and DJ Chark could get a ton of pass targets in this one. So I like DJ Chark here versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. Not much to like at this position for this game. So I think if you want to play a tight end, the way I would play it is just to save some salary and go with a sleeper pick here, or a high risk, high reward play. Take a look at Jacob Hollister from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, so he played last week and he got 6 pass targets and scored 4 fantasy points. He's going to be about 17% owned. He was on the field for 70% of the snaps. Now, I like this pick because he's only 1,000 DraftKings salary and 1,600 more on FanDuel. So with the Jacksonville Jaguars trailing by 7.5 in this game, he could get a bunch of targets and he could pay off his salary pretty easy. Plus, it's hard to find value on this slate. So if he's going to get 5 to 6 pass targets at 1,000 DraftKings salary, sign me up for that. So I like Jacob Hollister here versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.